What up? You already know what it is, man. Boots Tellez. Boots Tellez. 154. Let's get it. I'm calling it now. I'm stamping it. Boots versus Tellez. 154 WBA champ. No, all for the WBA title. Charlo, the road champion, recess. So, they putting Bug as the champion recess now. So, Bug gonna become the champion recess for the WBA. So, since Boots have the WBA at 147, force the WBA to get that fight at 154. That's the only championship fight out there. That one and the IBF at 154 with Bakhram. If I'm not mistaken, I think Bakhram is about to be occupied with a certain opponent, if I'm not mistaken. But, Tellez fought J-Rock. He got the victory over J-Rock. A few weeks later, Boots fight. Boots got the victory to become unified over Yoenis and become Ring Magazine champ. So, it's only right to move to 154 for the WBA. It's going to become vacant unless Tellez automatically gets it. But, Boots Tellez 154, that's a banger in the making. It's a banger in the making, and it's a fight that makes sense. And what's the other guy? Gasol, the mandatory for the WBA. If I'm not mistaken, Boots been elevated to super champ, so that makes Rolly the regular for the WBA. So if Boots can't get a Rolly fight, or unless Gasol's going to fight Boots or he's going to fight Rolly, we don't know how it is going to go. But the only championship fight out there right now for Boots is Tellez. Tellez at 154. Boots is willing to move up, so there's no problem moving up and fighting for the WBA at 154. And you can be a two-division champ. You can become a two-division champ. And let's get it, man. And then you can shoot for the ring too. You can shoot for the ring at 154 too. That's the crazy thing about it. You can shoot for the ring. But at the end of the day, the WBA make a lot of sense. That's the best route to go at. You know what I mean? And plus, you ain't got to worry about any, especially at 147, Boots ain't got to worry about rehydration clause with the IBF no more because he's a unified champ. He did. But besides that, man, Tellez, Boots make a great fight, for boxing. And then support boxing and put boxing on a beautiful pedestal, you know what I mean? But let me know what y'all think in the comments. That's the only championship fight out there for Boots right now. And I'm stamping it, and yes, I'm saying it. But besides that, he can still go the IBF route, and fight the top 5 guys there, or his mandatory there, or he can go the WBA route. He still got Rolly there at the WBA champion now, the regular champ. So Boots can fight Rolly. Or, Gasol got a mandatory, for the Rolly fight and for the motherfucking Boots fight. So those are the only 2 fights, at welterweight Boots can look at. Well, 3 fights. But until then, the only championship fight out there, like I say, is at 154. You got the WBA and the IBF. But if I was Boots, I'd go the WBA route. Because you know how the IBF put their rehydration clause to 10% in the same day weigh-in situation occurs. So, fighting for the IBF at 154, would it make sense? Yeah, it makes sense because it's a title, but the weight, I don't know. But WBA is the way to go. If I was Boots, I'd take the WBA at 154 fight with Tellez. Let's get it done.